Yeah, how you doing today?
Hi, all good, man. How are you?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's all right on my end too. Yeah, well, nice to meet you. I think we can start with going through the form first. Just whatever you
Yeah,
mentioned there. Is it sounds good?
yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay,
Sorry, I need
perfect.
to adapt a little bit to your accent, and but in 5 more minutes or so, I will understand everything clearly.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm usually trying to talk pretty slowly, but if there's anything what you do not understand, do not hesitate to ask, and it's all good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Okay, let's take a look. What do we got in the form so far? Well, your expectations, it's understand better positioning strategy and improve general context awareness. That sounds good with me. Your long-term goals are at least diamond in competitive. Perfect. Now, short-term goals, be more aware of the game situation I'm in. Sounds good. So it's just more awareness, yeah, just sort of game sense, it seems like.
Yeah.
Okay, awareness, positioning, and let's see if there's anything else you mentioned. You mentioned that with all the things you need to work on, you need better aim and general game awareness. I see.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Sorry. Well, one thing. Are you sharing the screen? Because
uh,
I'm don't,
not
don't.
yet, not yet. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Good.
I will be doing so really soon
Okay.
though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay. Can you elaborate on what do you struggle with in terms of the aim at the moment and your general game awareness too?
Well, I feel like the aim I have sometimes I'm really good at like hitting enemies. I usually play heal, so especially with Zenyatta, some matches I'm really good at like hitting the people, doing headshot, and sometimes especially with like flying heroes like Freya or some other, I really have no clue how to hit them, and that's hard. For example, Genji or other like those. And for the game awareness, I don't know. Usually, I play by myself, so sometimes I don't have a team. So sometimes I feel like I'm wandering around, if especially if I don't have a good team, or maybe the tank goes by itself. Sometimes I find myself in the wrong positioning, and I realize that when it's too late, basically. So they kill me, and I take a lot of time, especially with Zenyatta, to go back to the team and support them. So my aim is to understand those kind of situation where I need to step back, but understand those maybe 5 or 6 seconds before, so I can get cover and don't get killed.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I think all the awareness and your target priority in general it goes along the way with your position. So maybe that
Yeah.
is something what we can talk about first. See what kind of positions we take in and what are the targets
Mhm.
available for us. So it will be easier for us to exactly know what to
Okay.
do in each situation. But we can take a look at the gameplay, I would say, just based on what we'll see. We'll talk about the biggest thing first, the biggest problem I noticed. And of course, if you're gonna have any questions too about anything else, feel free to ask those too. That's all
Okay.
good. Yeah, so far, your hero pool is Zenyatta, Lifeweaver, Alari, and Wuyang. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, these are my main four, let's say. I usually swap them depending on the map and depending on the attack or defense situation. But those are the main four. I usually play heal, rarely as DPS, and almost never as a tank. So, but like 90% of the time, I play as a healer.
That is good. That is good. And I think long term, for most of the students, I usually suggest to just lean towards one role overall. If you have around 3, 4 characters, that's usually going to be enough, really. You don't need
Mm.
more because otherwise you will have to learn a lot of micros and that is not needed. And sometimes when you play multiple roles, it's also complicated because you might be building conflicting habits as well. So that's
Okay.
all good. That's all good. Okay, I see that for the most part, everything is clear to me. Your playtime is fine. 10 hours per week is okay. Playing on PS4, PS5, that's all good. And I think there's been no other comments. So, yeah, is there anything else what you want to add maybe before we start looking at your gameplay?
Let's say I started playing almost 1 year ago, and I already started almost immediately with healers and especially Zenyatta. So Zenyatta is the my main. Let's say is the one that I played more hours than all the other combined.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I'm using a lot and I'm improving a lot with Lifeweaver because I think it's really funny to play him as a healer and also has a good attack potential, I believe. Uh, but no other comments. I think we can go to the to the replay. Oh, the two replay that I sent you. So I sent one where I lost. It was a control. I remember. I think. And one where I won, but like the attack, the first phase was a little bit complicated. So, and I use all the four heroes. You will see the four heroes that I mentioned in these two replays.
Interesting, interesting. I usually suggest we have time to cover most of the important concepts. Maybe just leaning towards one, two characters that would be the best. Usually, one is good enough, but if you really want me to, we can make it two as well. What are your thoughts? What
Okay,
kind of characters you want to focus on today?
but I think Zen and Lifeweaver.
Zenyatta
Say,
and
yeah,
Lifeweaver. Okay, let's do it this way then. Okay, let's start with the games first, and then,
yep,
if possible, we could also try to do a live game where you can look to play and
okay.
apply all the concepts we're gonna talk about. But yeah, let's start with this first replay. Can you see the stream, by the way? I should be screen sharing.
No, no, not yet.
It should be, you can see near my name, there's a button. It's called Live. You just click on my name, and I think you will be able to go on the stream.
1 second.
It's just right
Okay,
on the server here.
it's working.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if they're gonna
Oh,
be
sorry,
any.
one thing. Does the lesson get recorded so I can rewatch it later? You sending me like the video? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I also might also share it for the public on the YouTube as well.
Okay,
I
perfect.
remember that you've been okay with that too, so it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
fine.
sure.
Maybe if not, then it will get uploaded. You get the private link. I think that's possible. That's all good.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
perfect.
okay. Yeah, so the stream is working for you just fine. Everything's good.
Yep, yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and can you tell me what's your nickname in here? Is it Goblin
Yeah. The one.
Goblin Ganza? Okay, perfect. Well, what do you feel like you struggled with on this map, if there's been anything in specific? Is it still positioning awareness, or is there anything else what stands out?
Uh, Usually what I saw in this map, they all the DPS always use or very often use dive Carter. So with Zenyatta, it's a problem because sometimes I feel I'm usually staying behind because especially under the Colosseum there is a very long shot that I can use with him, but often I have like a Tracer or a Genji coming behind me because they can go unnoticed and they kill me very often. So that's my main problem with this map.
So it's mainly dealing with those flankers and divers
Yeah,
overall.
yeah.
I see, I see. Did you feel like you had this problem during this game too?
Probably there was this tracer, but I don't remember exactly. But I think so. I think so.
I see, I
Let's
see.
start and we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, we can take a look. Okay, let's watch the first fight. How
Yep.
it's gonna go? Maybe a couple of the fights first, and then can talk about a few things, whatever the biggest ones I notice. Okay,
And
we
also, I'd love to understand how to position the life orb better, because I always in doubt if to give them to the tank or to one of my DPS that is going flanking or whatever.
I see you. I see you. I think maybe it might be worth it to talk about first, actually, but we can take a look at the first fight,
Okay.
and then yeah, let's talk about that. I would say because most of your orb positioning is all about the context, and if you're able to recognize the context, then it'll be easy to understand. There are some general rules we can follow, but then the higher in ranks you go, the more nuances there will be, of course. But the fundamentals ultimately will stay the same. Okay, so it seems like we
Okay. Yeah. I had a very big issue in this game with that tracer. I
yeah,
remember that.
yeah. I see you targeting her, which is not bad at all. Just push her back a little bit, that's fine. If she is out, you can deal more pressure to the front line, and then after that, we can again try to search for her, like here, yes. Okay, I see it. It might be really worth it to talk about right away, and especially because you asked about the orbs as well. Let's just go back here, and we usually want to follow this one simple idea as the support. Whenever you doing stuff on the map, you need to support activity. And what activity based on, it can be multiple variables. So something what you can start with is one. By the way, all the stuff here, whatever we gonna talk about, I will also try to write it down in the summary. So sometimes I might be stopping and just saying, well, I will write it
Okay.
down in the summary. Yeah, this sort of stuff. So now I'm writing down support activity at all times. And activity is based on first positioning and second resources, let's put it this way, or maybe to even simplify, the cooldowns. Yeah, whatever your teammates are using or whatever the enemy is using, you can be paying attention to that. So there's one layer of where we're supporting the activity and another layer where we disabling the enemy activity, let's put it this way. So now let's
Okay.
just start with the simple stuff. We can pay attention to the positioning and the cooldown status. So we're starting out just normally. The orb is gonna be on Orisa, and we need to figure out, is that the most active person right now? And if yes, then why? If not, then why? Yeah, this sort of stuff. What are your thoughts? Is it the most active character right now on your team based on this
Well,
situation?
yeah, I think so, because she's right in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of the fight, or
Yeah.
she's going into the fight.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, position seems pretty aggressive. Yes, she's kind of more forward, so she's more likely to take damage. And also, at the same time, she can do quite a lot of damage as well. Those are always important factors of activity. And now, we cannot see her using any cooldown, so it's fine because we just maybe later you would expect her to do something, but now it's only positioning what the activity is based on. I think this is good enough, but later maybe you pay attention. For example, here she uses the spear, then this already tells you, oh, this is obviously they getting more and more active, so your attention can shift more and more towards the Orisa. But the really good thing about the orb is that you don't have to always switch it too much. Yeah, you can kind of just leave it on the person, and they're already aggressive here, then it's fine. Just remain it being on her. But sometimes the situation will tell you that this Orisa here is not the most aggressive one, so you can switch your orb to someone else, but let's keep watching. So our heal orb is an Orisa, which is completely fine, especially because of they committing their fortify now as well. And then later, you want to do the same towards an enemy, but we don't do that, it seems. So you see how your Discord orb is still there? It's not on
Mhm.
anybody at the moment, so this is big problem to me. So my question is, what do you see? Who is the most active on the enemy team right now?
Yeah, it could be Diva or Tracer.
Devo Tracer. We cannot see Tracer yet, but if you would see the Tracer, let's imagine. Let's say she would take deeper angle. I don't know, maybe being somewhere like this.
Mhm.
Oh, this is a little bit too large. Okay, this position A or this position B, for example. What would be the preference and why?
between Diva and Tracer.
Yes, Diva and Tracer. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
Diva probably.
Why Diva?
Because she's in the middle right in front of Orisa, so I'll try to help my Orisa increasing the damage while healing her because she's in the middle.
Maybe. This can be okay. However, the thing is, it's all about the balance. We're not necessarily gonna support someone to placing the damage orb, let's put it this way. Sometimes, of course, if you recognize that this guy can easily die, maybe this might be worth it. But especially at the start of the fight, you have to judge who is purely the most dangerous to you, or maybe your teammates as well. And the thing is,
Okay.
usually if we talking about positioning, the first priorities should go towards anyone who takes off angles, generally speaking. So technically, if there is Diva at position A, and there is a Tracer at position B, because she's an off angle. By the way, do you know what off angle means?
Yeah, it's like on the side or they can target you behind the corner, something like that.
Sort of. Let's put it this way, because for each situation, off angle can be different. And the way you can look at it, the off angle is going to be the position away from the core. For example, in here, we
Okay.
have the red team at the position A. Most of them are positioned around the payload on this main street. In this case, Tracer is taking off angle. It's not too deep of an off angle, it's just slightly separate. But still, because she does so, she can potentially separate your attention and resources, and that's what off angle
Okay.
does a lot of times, especially in this game. And whenever you see the situation like this, anyone taking off angle can be usually quite dangerous, and if you push them back, then it's going to be easier for you to have bottom up control. Ultimately, if I push this guy out, then there might be a situation where he goes back to their team and then becomes easier for my Orisa to push like I wanted to, or maybe a Junker to
Okay.
push. So we're kind of getting rid of those angles first. So this is your first priority, ideally off angles. And then if there's nobody on the off angle, then pay attention to the front line. Yeah, we're talking about the triggers. Yeah, triggers, just how to understand what is the most active target. So first, position. I also talked about the cooldowns. We will get to that later. But I also think maybe even what's more important compared to the cooldowns, it's just purely looking at the damage. Looking at the damage, who does the most pressure right now, and then you can identify what you should be doing, because damage, it can include the cooldowns, it can include a lot of stuff. So I maybe would start with that: position, damage, so we keep it simple, really. Okay, yeah, let's keep watching. So now we don't have an orb yet. Most importantly, we don't have the Discord right now because we cannot see the Tracer. That would be
Mm-hmm.
okay to place it on Diva, sure, but we have to, yeah, we have to go for it as soon as possible, and then only go for the fire. You placed on the Diva right now, though, and then after that you see this Tracer, and what that means, how your orb placement should switch, ideally. What do you think?
Should we Tracer probably
Yeah, just go
because
on the
she's
Tracer.
way off angle.
Yeah, exactly. Place it on the Tracer, and she may play Rita defensive because she has an orb on her, but that window of time allows you to easily pressure the front line after. So we just kind of want to find this brief window of when this is really aggressive, and I want to push them back, and if they're not being aggressive, then I want to put my pressure the front line later, ideally. So if you can catch them there, really, that would be really, really good. And you see, for example, here, you actually found this window where they've been aggressive and just place the orb on her. So now she's
Mm-hmm.
hiding. Perfect. And now we can put the pressure on the front line, but you don't want to forget about the pressure afterwards from her too, because she might get back, and she might get back really, really fast. So your attention should always be first on the off angle, but then only second on the front line. It seems that the
Okay.
Diva is really low, but I'm not sure if most of our attention still should go there if the Tracers potentially takes an angle. You see, kind of just pushing them back first, winning the map control first, and then after that, making it easy for you to pressure the front line. Usually worth it. Usually worth it more
Okay.
because you securing more space this way. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I think with Tracer is she's very fast. So
Yes.
if I put the Discord orb on her, she can wait 2 seconds, and then she
Yeah.
had 8 seconds free to fuck with me,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. And that's what I mean. What should be your response here? If you know she's hiding now, but there's a possibility that she might recontest again, she might
Mm.
go in again, and at the same time, you want to maybe, if she's not going in, to put pressure on the front line. What you wanna what is the way for you to do the pressure the most effective way? Yeah, because you have two tools. You have the right click and you have the mouse one. What do you think would be the most effective right now to start
Yeah,
with?
probably I should charge the 5 orbs
Yeah, just
and
go for
then
the
wait
orbs.
for the release.
Exactly. Charge the orbs. If you
Mm.
see that she's not going in, then release
Mm.
those on the main. If she is going in, then you release it on her, and then she's again really, really scared. It's usually
Okay.
gonna be the most basic rule, especially Zenyatta, because you don't have any mobility. I think it's so important to be threatening towards an enemy and push them back and contest them with your right click. So that will be not as easy to kill you. Your right click is sort of like a defensive tool in a way as well. So
Okay.
the basic rules are always, if you cannot see an enemy as well, then it's usually fine to charge the right click. Okay, so I can write
Okay.
it down as well. If you can see an enemy, charge your right click. Oh, well, I call it right click, but on a console, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alternative fire.
Understand.
Yeah, alternative fire. Yep, so right now, that will be really nice to just have your orb somewhere and then potentially be threatening towards the tracer at the same time. Later on, you charged your 5 orbs though, so it worked out. But for example, now, just keep charging the orbs. Yeah, just go for them.
Nice.
So you will be, it's just slightly faster. Yeah, you start doing that, but you need to recognize, oh, I cannot see anybody. Maybe I have to pay attention to the tracer first and at the same time
Mm.
expect people in the front line. So now I have this downtime. Let me just charge the right click, and this is exactly the time for you to release. Yeah, this is okay, just a little bit faster. Approach it a little bit faster. Also, during this time, while you're charging, what your attention should be on is this. If you know this is present, and if you can see that, then I think you pressure this first. I'm not sure if you're able to. Let's see, maybe try to make the... If it, in theory, if we would be pushing in without him, I think it's possible, to be honest. Yeah, if we would be at this area, I think it's okay. You see
Mm.
her, then go pressure the tracer. If not, then pressure in the front line would be okay.
Okay.
But especially during this time when you know that she's, I think, the only one who can do quite a lot towards the backline. I think the rest of the enemy team, if you keep them busy, if you pressure them back, especially the diva, I think it should end up okay. Well, this fight still goes relatively fine. There's still some things to polish here and there. Okay, let's pay attention to our orb a little bit more too. Okay, it's an Orisa. I think for now it's fine. And then afterwards, this might need some changes actually, but this really depends on the situation. Anyway, what do you think? You see this here, and
Yeah.
who you would say is the most active on your team currently, and why?
Mm. Probably your Bastion or Junkrat.
Bastion or Junkrat? Yeah, Bastion gets a little bit support though,
Yeah.
so maybe it's not as needed.
Richard
Uh,
and Junkrat.
who is taking an off angle to you? Who seems like is a more of a person who is taking off angle right now on your team?
Uh, Probably Lisa.
Orisa can be. What about the Junkrat? Yeah, this position here as well. Just slightly away from the main lane. Usually not is that the off angles usually away from where the main fight is, where the
Okay.
cart is too. So if they do this, this is also possibly an off angle. This position A is also an off angle, but the Orisa is not doing as much pressure. We need two triggers together ideally.
Mm.
Position, damage at the same time. Orisa is not able to do damage now, so we're looking at the off angle together with the damage. It would be maybe this guy. Yeah, maybe the Bastion could also be the guy because they do damage. Yeah, we have one check mark, but they're not taking off angle right now. They just kind of on the main,
Okay.
and
No.
that's why they typically will be safe. This situation will happen where they easily get healed by anybody. They can easily be supported, yeah, by some other defensive abilities too. So you kind of prefer this, and meantime, you do the pressure, and you see how this guy is receiving pressure too, because the enemy team recognizes,
Mm-mm.
oh, this guy might be dangerous, and that's the person they see right now. So maybe we can save him a little bit, because having your orb here would be, yeah, would be really nice. Oh, by the way, it's just from mechanical standpoint, always the most ideal is if you can try to place your Discord orb and then release the right click. That's always works great. But yeah, it's if possible. Yeah, I think here, for example, we're trying. Yeah, exactly. Trying to place the orb on the tracer, that's fine. Moving in, taking a little bit of space. Transcendence is okay-ish. Maybe waiting a little bit longer would be even better, but it's alright. Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, he pushed probably too much. But that's the
Yeah.
kind of situation I thought I wanted to understand how to behave.
Well, if you want to, we can break it down a little bit more. So, I'd say I'll just go back a little bit when everything starts. So first off, our attention is on the angles, and then after that, we can punish the front line. So this, pushing the trace out, what do you think? Is it okay decision by you, or is there anything else you should be doing?
Like here, I put the orb on the Discord orb on Tracer,
Yeah?
and then I put the life orb on Bastion,
Yeah?
and then
So
I went on the other way. Not sure if could have helped more Bastion, probably.
you think help out your Bastion more?
Ah, that's a good question. I don't know, because I saw my team splitting in two parts. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Bastion versus Tracer. If I give them the two orb, maybe he can manage it, and then I go to Oriza and push in the front where all the other enemies are. That was my thinking.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Now, if we break it down to the same lens we talked about, position-wise and damage-wise, who is more aggressive position-wise? Yeah, again, we're prioritizing people taking off angles over the front line,
Yeah.
and then also trying to see who is doing more damage now. Who is that exactly right now?
Uh, in the enemy team is Tracer,
A Tracer, and on our
sure.
team,
Bastion probably, because
I wouldn't say so.
the
You
other are
also
hiding.
you have Arisa literally in
Oh, there
the
is
spawn here.
Oriza. Okay. No,
Right?
I didn't. So I thought she was under the bridge.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I want you to always actively track. At any point of time, who is exactly taking off angles? So first, it's my team, and second, it can also be the enemy. I think we've done an okay job at just pushing their Tracer out. You can place the Discord door on her, that's fine. And you also release the right click too, but your
Mm.
attention should be on a risk as well. Then that's the difficulty with support. Your attention should be a lot of the times be flexible, and you need to swap between the multiple guys. So for example, now I pressure this guy, I know that more likely they will hide. So there's no need for you to maybe overpressure this.
Mm.
Just look at the situation again. Okay, who is the most active right now? It seems that Myris is going in. Maybe I can try to pick her, place an orb on her, and then after that I decide who to pressure again. Yeah, have this window of time. Maybe there's gonna be Diva. Maybe Tracer will come back, so I have to turn around. But yeah, this is challenging part, but ideally we have to manage it. Yeah, does it make
Yeah,
sense
because
here? Mhm.
yeah, because I lost Orisa because she was in my back, and I thought Mercy was managing her. So I said, okay, I'll go with Bastion, and then I completely lost her side of Orisa, and then I turned around again, and she was almost dying. So that's why I activated Transcendence.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe in this case, if we would put slightly more attention on the Rissa, then it will be easier for you and your team to survive doing this. Maybe we'll not need Transcendence here. I think most likely you will need it once the enemy team will push you. It's just with this position, you need to be really careful. You have more let's put it this way, slower comp compared to their composition. They just like to really get as close as possible and be as fast as possible, and you've been under the bridge as an entire team, so it's a little bit complicated. It's not necessarily something you can control, though, too much. But anyway, at least we can influence this, where we put attention on the right person, and then you're less likely to use your transcendence when it's not needed. Yeah, because now they are not really pushing us, right? And that's the most important for us to use our resources when activity is happening. Now the Sarissa is low, yes, indeed, but at the same time, there's maybe, if she would be more healthy slightly especially, then you see that she's not under too much pressure, so maybe we can wait for the moment to actually use transcendence too. But yeah, in this case it's just not too bad because they're critical. Yeah, we maybe also seen some of the enemies here too, so it's fine. Also, our location after the transcendence is a little bit awkward here too, but it's all right. Yeah, actually, what do you think? Where should you end up ideally? So we'll be able to support those active guys a little bit better. What do you would say?
Probably I'm too much in the middle also because Kiriko use her ulti, so I'm right in the front of the action where Orisa should be actually probably.
Yeah, yeah. So where do you think your where you think you should end up after your ultimate ideally then?
I probably behind the obelisk, like taking cover on the stairs or behind the robot.
Yeah, possibly. I think one of those would do just fine. Yeah, it's really just ideally avoiding any sort of position near the point when the fight is about to start. Let's put it this way. And ideally, you also want to find more of a longer range sideline too, isn't it?
Okay.
It's all your preference where you want to be because it depends on the context. But I would say being here, for example, is not too bad. Being here, also not too bad. Just be careful though, because they have some divers, so you need to get ready to just take a HP pack, maybe use the right click too, but possible, I think any of those, but definitely not point. You need to be away from point position-wise, usually, when the fight is about to start. Yeah, because you need to give an enemy team a dilemma. Do they have to deal with you, or they have to deal with the point? So now, in this case, they just dealing with both of you and the point now. Stuff like that. Yeah, does it make sense?
Okay. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
And then I finished it right in the middle, and then Diva launched their ulti, so I had to take cover behind the robot, but I had the enemies behind me, so it was a shitty situation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that happens sometimes. It's understandable. You try to help out your Rissa, but at the same time, we don't want to forget that we need to value our life as much as possible too. So this way, it will be much easier. But it's okay. It's okay. Right, let's keep watching. Right, pressure those guys a little bit. Trying to stay alive at this point, just doing as much pressure. And that's why it might be a little bit tough for you to aim as well, because we are just in this situation where you receive a lot of pressure. It's a lot of unnecessary pressure from all the multiple angles, but it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, let's see. Our Bastion is the most active right now. Placing orb on them is fine. Now, shooting the Rissa, probably the Discord Orb on her is fine. That's why you need, ideally, you need to be aware of this stuff too. I know it's complicated, but as a best support, usually we need to try to anticipate things. So if I look at this composition here, to just make the predictions, because and I mentioned first trigger is gonna be positional trigger. Yeah, anybody taking off angles, anybody taking positions away from their core is gonna be the preference. So if you're able to anticipate who will do so, that way it will become much easier. By the way, probably if we will make it louder too, you probably can hear the footsteps of the Junkrat too. So this also sort of alerts you right in the game that, oh, you need to pay attention to the angles, you need to put your pressure first, or otherwise you're gonna die. So let's just go back and we'll hear. Probably there will be really loud footsteps, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, you hear this? There's like a little bit of the noise. Yeah, the Junkrat is pretty loud usually. The characters like Reaper, even Tracer can be pretty loud too. Yeah, they are moving constantly. So you need to be ready to switch your attention, start to right click, and make sure that you catch this person. And maybe.
And I think probably looking at the game, I probably heard the steps, so I turned on the right.
Yeah.
I saw nobody, and then I got distracted, and I started like looking right. Probably here, I looked on the right.
That's when, yeah.
I see nobody, and then I went back to my stuff, not considering that anymore.
Yeah, so instead of it, you just need to put more attention on that stuff you've seen first, because angles matter more. Yeah, it seems that most of your attention has been on the main, but this is not necessary. Yeah, the angles matters more first. We just need to, first off, pressure these guys. Yeah, be really confident that nobody's here, nobody's inside this room, nobody's inside this, so I will be fine after, and I can deal with the front line. So kind of just need attention at the right place. That's fine though. Okay, we're starting out here. What was that, sorry?
No, I couldn't do much, and Mercy just reads me in the middle of the fight, so I was...
yeah, can do much about it indeed. That's all good. Okay, so we're starting out the pressure here. Oh, also, you mentioned that you played Lifeweaver in this game too, or is it gonna be the second one?
No, I think it's gonna be the second one.
Okay, okay. Well,
I think.
Yeah. Do you want to also watch the Lifeweaver, or do you want to continue with Zenyatta?
Yeah. No. Let's go on Lifeweaver.
Yeah, I think
this is very helpful. I think I need to practice more, taking a look at the off angles. I never thought about it in this way.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you can always break it down multiple layers. Yeah, it's just how do I react to that information? Yeah, maybe put more extra attention there, and also be ready to hear and see all the stuff on the map, because you're trying to anticipate that the Tracer's taking off angles, or maybe the Junkrat. I think we've been pretty aware of the Tracer most of the time, and she actually been seen too, so it's all good. But exactly those situations, this is what becomes scary for you, Zenyatta. You cannot afford yourself to not deal with that, yeah, to not anticipate, because you will be dying instantly. If they get really close, they can just one-shot you. Yeah, exactly. But if we ready up for our right click and be ready to deal with them, then they are dead at this time. Okay, we can watch the second game. Yeah, we can probably look at the same lens of just supporting activity, disabling activity, especially on Lifeweaver. It's really important because of your how you use your what's that called, the save bubble. Yeah, when you just place it on one of your teammates. Yeah, just doing that at the right time and the right person is really important. So we can take a look.
Okay, so here I start usually in this kind of map. I start with Hiliari to see if I can hold as much as possible, like the point, and then when they take the point, I switch to Lifeweaver.
I see it.
Here
I see.
Yeah, they took it almost immediately.
Okay. Yeah, I'll actually build this amount of wool charge too. Okay, that's alright. Let's see how is that gonna go later. We're on Lifeweaver now. Should be okay with this comp too, not too bad for sure. You have a lot of the brawl guys. So now we can start building the charge. Sure, go with the high ground, that's fine. Sure. Yeah, I think what we try to do here, it makes sense. We're just trying to save this guy, and maybe also a little bit of the attention on the high ground. I'm actually curious, you place your flower in here, you went up, and then you decided to drop after. What is your thought process? Why not to continue to take this high ground later? Maybe, or why do we play main, this sort of stuff? What are your thoughts? What is...
I put the flower there because I saw there was a guy over there with Diva. And sorry, I put the flower because I thought I could see everything from up there. Also, Ramatra that was in front, and then I went up. I saw Diva dealing with the who was that, Reaper.
Oh yeah.
And then I tried to heal Reaper, but he went downstairs, so I went down, and then I remained down. I don't know why.
I see. I see. Because this here, I think it would be a pretty decent position overall. Because the thing is, Lifeweaver, and maybe as any sort of support too overall, is that you need to see all the activity on the field and try to switch between the activity. You just need to maybe, let's say there's a guy who's pushing on this angle, and then there are also people who are pushing the right side. Ideally, I want to see both and be able to support them, because you have decent amount of the healing, amount of the sustain. You're also able to just use your bubble, you get them out of the any interesting situation too. And the thing about it though, you need to be really careful with those long sidelines though, especially if they have any more longer range damage like the Widow or the Zenyatta. I think you need to be really careful. Usually you don't want to pick those longer sidelines. We kind of usually try to remain the mid range, but let's see how's that gonna go. Yeah, well, you see the Widow, she actually, well, it's kind of more not like C, but she exactly picks you here. That's what I mean. You see, our awareness on this is going to be increased right now. It's because if there would be better Widow, there's a high chance that we might die to her. I think she goes for the body shot, but let's say they do the good headshot damage here, then that would be a really scary for us. It's just something what we need to keep it.
Yeah, I saw indeed I saw the shot, and I fly toward like the bridge to take cover. But yeah, she was at one because she could have shot me like 5 minutes before.
Yeah, exactly. She's not even paying attention to us, but at the same time, I forgot about her. So my question to you, if you would know that she's there, how you need to play right now? What should you do, ideally? What do you would say?
Probably going on the right here.
Okay.
Like from behind and staying close to the stairs.
Staying close to the stairs too.
Yeah.
Also, what about your resources? What do you need to safely cross or maybe deal with the Widow? Let's put it this way. What do you would say?
I could take cover and then take the fast jump. I don't know how. I don't remember how it's called
probably.
in English.
It's at least your dash is really needed there. If you're trying to cross the open space, then 100%. But when we start here, and exactly, I think you can actually ideally even start early here and then try to. You can exactly know that the Widow might exist, so you need to be careful when you cross in the open space. But I think, especially now when you see her, you need to be cautious. Yeah, if we don't have the dash, maybe we use that. Yeah, but or maybe I think it's fine. Maybe probably holding that because you're crossing the open space here. You might expect the Widow, and then after that you can go from here to here, or maybe exactly like I said, go right side. This can also be fine. Yeah, any of those abilities will help you out to stay alive, because now it seems really scary. We forgot about her, and then at the same time, she was not paying attention to us at the start, so this gives us more of a room to do stuff. But yeah, the Widow is dead now, so you're more free to stay here. But anyway, gotta be careful. Okay, we're starting out this, sure. Well, goes okay for our team. Now, let's see what we're gonna start with. Okay, placing the flower there. This could be interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I think this is the kind of similar things to what we talked about. You see, you just trying to anticipate, look at the composition and think, who might be taking an off angle right now?
For sure. Tracer
100%. And see how she's so free, just taking those angles. She's literally right above there, and nobody contesting her. I know that ideally from your teammate, somebody should be there, to be honest, to contest her, but you also should be the one to do so. At least if I know that this guy goes in, I can add a little bit of damage, and then I also will be ready to grapple anybody, to just deal damage to anybody, because now this is so free. Yeah, so it's partially your positioning. You need to be, well, it's kind of similar rule, if you wish, position away from cart if the fight is about to start, but as a Lifeweaver, you just need to have the sightline, which allows you to have more options. Let's put it this way. Yeah, I'm gonna
so
say
it should be higher. You mean to take a look at like everything is what is going on over there.
Ideally, yes. But you need to be careful with the lone sidelines if they have anything like Widow, though. But yeah, you usually need to have the high ground position somewhere, and that's where you don't even have to use your flower. Maybe you can even try to just walk normally, but I think flower before the fight is okay. You get it back once the fight is about to start, and then it should be okay, because if you have this position here, then at least I'm able to see this guy, maybe just in case if I really go this way. Yeah, there's a high chance at least that I will see this guy compared to this here, and I also see this guy here, so I'm able to put the pressure, and at the same time I'm able to do stuff to my team, help them out in a way. Does it make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, in this case, I prioritize healing the tank, but probably was useless because there is a barrier and there is a cover angle. So
Yeah,
probably I could have been upstairs.
exactly.
And also with the Reaper ready to attack, probably I should support him.
Exactly. And this is what I mean. You need those two triggers most of the time, ideally. Possession and damage. Now, this guy has maybe more frontline position, really offensive position, but this matters even more, honestly. This position is even more aggressive. So if you're able to put more attention, that's perfect. Just do not be only positioned near them. Try to also have the sidelines on the rest of your team too, so you will be able to swap. If you're really not able to see the flanker, that's fine, but at least you're giving yourself a little bit more of a room to be comfortable. If I, for example, here, then there's a chance that I might see this guy better. If he goes that deep, then well, maybe leave it be, but at least we dealt with their flank too. Yeah, we dealt with their angle too, and this is really important. And then at the same time, you also can put the attention in terms of the healing anybody the most active on your team too. That's gonna be alright. But now this Tracer goes for free. She kills 2 people because nobody even shot 1 bullet at her. Just nobody has been shooting her, and all her entire team dies.
Yeah, here I did very bad ulti because I thought Ramatra was surviving, so I put the flower on the cart. But even in this case, I don't know. Is it worth to use a ulti right now to save Ramatra and keep the positioning while the other are respawning, or we just die and wait for to be all together?
I would say ideally, if you're at this big disadvantage, probably not worth it. It's probably better to use it earlier then, in this case, because you expect the push. So, for example, here, a Tracer got a kill. Okay, I think it starts even with a... Yeah, it starts with a pulse bomb, right? So, Tracer got a kill. So, your expectations are that the enemy will be pushing really hard, because if they don't, then, well, they're just allowing you to regroup. So the expectations are they're pushing, and ideally, we should be thinking about the placing tree somewhere around here. I would wait maybe like extra 2 seconds, and then start placing it now if you see anybody approaching aggressively. Start now, because those guys, they either have to kite the tree, and if they did, then you're winning, you're buying more time, and if they are fighting, then they're at disadvantage, because you always getting healed. Yeah, it's just as soon as I see this, but the tree can allow you to regain the advantage. That's the most ideal approach, I would say.
So either use it right now or wait.
Yeah, honestly, I would even prefer now, because sometimes if we wait for the best opportunity, there's just not gonna be. It's never will be there. Yeah, I'm usually. It's usually better to start using your ultimates proactive in my case, in my thinking, because now you see that they're able to take the point actually, and nobody's able to touch it. Something went wrong. Sometimes it just maybe somebody will die early when they will try to do so. Yeah, so always as soon as there's opportunity, I think just go for it, even though it does not seem like the most perfect one. It's still okay. Stuff like that. Yeah, does it make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I usually tend to preserve the ulti too often, and sometimes I use it like only once or twice in the match, because I always wait for the for the best timing, but it's never arriving. So
yeah, exactly. So now you can just purely look at the activity. If you know that the positioning is aggressive, the damage is gonna come in, that especially if somebody died, that's already a big enough trigger for you. Oh, there's a lot of pressure being coming in, and it's gonna be coming in after because we're disadvantaged, so let me use the ultimate. But ideally, starting 5v5, when you start receiving a lot of pressure, like let's say I'm getting jumped by the Winston, I'm getting jumped by the Tracer together with Genji. They're using a lot of their mobility tools, so let's put it this way. Then you can exactly know that this is the good time for you to place the tree. Just be careful. You always need to watch out for the abilities. If they're committing something, and this is clear, then go for the tree. You want to trap them in your space. If not, then you can wait a little bit longer and just let them use something. Yeah, make sure that they will commit something first. Stuff like that. Okay, trying to save the Reaper here. It's fine. Okay, waiting. Sure, shooting the Diva. Yeah, healing the Sigma. Oh, this is unlucky. Yeah, we should be. Well, yeah, we should be in this case. Just try to dodge it for sure. Well, it's kind of in our initial position too. We usually need to be somewhere near around the cover anyway. So yeah, it's still a bit easy for them to catch you in this case. Well, where do you think it would be better for you to position?
Probably on the right, behind the right wall.
Yeah, behind the right wall. And see, the thing about the positioning like this, it's also that we're able to see all the people we're trying to support. We're using verticality more to have more options what are we supporting. Yeah, maybe the Reaper goes this side here. Yeah, they pick more of a closer angle to this point. Then at least there's a high chance to see him from here compared to if we stay out in the middle or to the left side. Yeah, you always have positions which give you options on how can you deal with multiple guys in your team. And at the same time, having cover helps out a lot too, obviously. Now we just die because of misposition here, but yeah, it's alright. This is where the fight starts, yeah.
Yeah, probably I choose the wrong side to take cover.
Yeah, that happens. But at the same time, this is kind of the thing. I mean, the fight is about to start. Usually, you need to be somewhere away from the objective, even slightly. Like, let's say I would be here, you already have more freedom. What can you do with all the stuff happening on the field? Yeah, I'm not just being on main, I'm being, for example, here, while able to support all the guys. By the way, that would also be easier for you to support that Reaper too, if you instantly move the positions like that, where I have more options. Let's just I'm trying to think how to call those positions. So yeah, we need to use verticality more for those positions. This is one. Yeah. Well, let's just say positions with more options. Yeah, verticality is usually a good vector. We also need to be able to see multiple angles. Yeah, we need to be able to see most of your team. Yeah, we don't want to limit ourselves. If I'm, for example, here, it's better compared to me being here or like playing really tight corner this way because now I'm not able to see Sigma too. So you always need to be able to be everywhere, to see everyone, to see every group. And then, yeah, it would be also easier to dodge this, obviously, if we would play the positions like that. Yeah, by the way, verticality here is also not bad, is an addition to. Yeah, I'm just playing here, but I also choose to go on the verticality, and it becomes even easier for me. Yeah, more info. Just prioritize that first. Set up yourself up first. Yeah, you kind of also a lot of the times have the flower for that, exactly. Yeah, take the extra angle. And you notice your flower is kind of it's been used sometimes for some interesting plays, yeah, like maybe try to set up your Reaper. We also try to take the high ground here too, but I also think about the times what you can do before the fight to help out you and your team with the setup. There are a lot of creative ways to also protect your team too, but yeah, anyway. Alright, we talked about quite a lot already. I'm curious, do you have any questions about anything so far?
No, I just try to understand, memorize how to, not the position, but how to reason to position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's resonate what you're telling me, because I sometimes, as before, I'm taking some position where there are no ideal, because I don't see all my team, or I see partially, or I don't see the enemies, or I don't have much cover. So that's resonates for sure.
Yeah. Well, we could also possibly do, if you're able to do the live game, try to apply some of that stuff as well. If you're able to, not sure how it
Yeah,
works on the. I think there've been some difficulties with the PlayStation or something similar before, but I think there's a way to screen share it on the Discord while playing as well. But yeah, we can test it. If that, if everything's gonna work for you, then let's go with that.
yeah, we can try. And I never tried to stream on Discord, but we can
Yeah,
try if it works for sure.
yeah, let's try. Let's try and see if this is gonna work. Then let's go with that. We can try to play at least one game. Just focus on the enable disable activity. It should be all good.
Okay, so how should I do to stream? Let's see.
Yeah, I think there should be an option share screen, and you can probably choose the application. Yeah, you can probably choose the Overwatch.
Hey, I only have Twitch and YouTube,
Oh,
because I was reading before that Discord is not supported as an app on the PlayStation. It's on.
oh,
You can connect the account, but you cannot properly stream. Well, you can stream, but it's kind of complicated. I saw some video
I
before, but it's not.
see. Oh yeah, there are some ways. Yeah, I actually had the guide somewhere. I can maybe send it to you later. Yeah, there are some. Okay, I now remember. Yeah, because most of the students they on PC usually, but yeah. Maybe if we want to do sessions later, we can also take a look at the. I can send you the guide. Well, maybe in this case we can just continue with what reviews, or what do you think?
Yeah, but it's very useful for me. Like this, and maybe if we have more, like 20 minutes more, we can take a look at Wu Yang. I don't know if we have time instead of
Yeah.
doing the live. That's fine.
Yeah, we can do so as well. Yeah, probably. We'll take we'll use the same perspective. Yeah, just talking about the target priority, supporting
Mhm.
activity, all of that stuff. Okay. When do you play Wu Yang? Is it gonna be later? Do you
Yeah,
just?
yeah. I think so. I think so. Take a look
Okay.
after.
Yeah, let's
No, probably.
see. Okay,
No,
so
probably it's.
this is still Zenyatta, and then we have Transcendence. Sure. Probably at the end, it seems.
No, probably I didn't send you the Wu Yang one.
Yeah, I think we just only in Zenyatta here. We can also talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see the Zenyatta on the attack side, because I think I can get some very good hint on this too.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, let's take a look. So first off, and that's what can help out you a lot too, is just thinking about your composition right away. Thinking about who will be the most active in terms of off angles, doing damage as well. So what are your thoughts by looking at this comp?
Probably Reaper was
Probably
going by
Reaper.
himself. I think usually I feel good when I have a Sigma with me, because um, he can scream, he can put the barrier and absorb while I'm behind hitting with the orbs. So I usually feel okay with him, and I usually try to put the orb on Reaper so he can go by himself and shot the people.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I think they will be flanking quite a lot. Okay, is there anyone else who you think you should be supporting a little bit more?
I don't know. I do Cassidy. Depends where he's going. If I have a Cassidy, a flanker Cassidy, maybe I try to support him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he stays behind Sigma, it's my second priority.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah, probably. The cast might be flanking. Maybe they can also take those more softer angles closer to your
Mhm.
team. We'll see though. Yeah, we're starting out going up the stairs. By the way, this is the time, yeah, when we charge the right click. Perfect. Go for the pressure. Sure. Attention is on Sig. But then you see in here, I think you can probably already start. I know that Sigma is taking a lot of damage right now, but your orb shouldn't be only based on the just who took the most damage. It's rather activity. Yeah, I want to say, oh, this person here, are they doing the most damage and position more aggressively? Then sure. And I think especially now, try to find this window when the sweeper will be going in. I think
Okay.
maybe you can start enabling him a little bit more. It's probably around here. You see them exactly walking to the choke, right? So you shouldn't be, your attention shouldn't be on the Sigma most of the time. See what I mean? And this guy, if they would have an orb, maybe they will be more confident in pushing up and taking the
Mm,
space, right? Yeah, it's just
okay.
what we always want to look at. Is just they're getting really close range. They also will try to take an off angle here, so let's go for that. Let's start supporting that. Yeah, we try to place the orb after, but it should be just slightly before. And then here, our
Okay.
orb should be on who? Who do you think,
And
ideally?
Sigma.
Probably Sigma, yeah, Sigma is okay. And then go for the right click's fine. And the Discord Orb on just anybody in the front line. Maybe if you know there's gonna be flanking Junkrat, maybe even Torp,
Mm,
sometimes you can place the damage orb on them, but other than that, I think we should be okay. There are not too many opportunities for the enemy to flank, really,
mm.
so we should be good. Okay, should be capturing the point from here. Right click is fine. Okay, your Sigma pushes up. You can maybe orb this guy. We cannot drop the Reaper, at least at this position where we are.
No,
I'm not
too
sure.
far
Well,
away.
what do you think? Should it be keep playing on the point, or could it be potentially pushing up a little bit more? Is it possible? Just be able to see more
Yeah,
people potentially.
yeah, probably. I should have gone a little bit toward. I was waiting for the load to carry the load because I saw that like um, Juno was very good position to heal also Reaper. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably was too early to wait for the payload.
yeah, yeah. No, this is okay to also to push the payload. Also, it's just at this time when the payload just starts unlocking, it takes time. It just can't be done by itself. You can count like how many seconds it does it. Like, I think it's around 5 seconds on average when it does
Mm,
this. When it
okay.
just going through the room, and here you don't have to be physically be here, so you can just be pushing up and taking the space. Maybe you get a kill on somebody, support the Reaper too, and then after that you can go back to the payload. But there's another perspective of it. Whenever you in a com game, you usually want to be the factor which influences the winning or losing more. So what it means is you need to be in control of the things a little bit more. And usually if we away from the payload, you have a chance to shoot the enemy more. You have a chance to put
Yeah.
the orb at the right person too. And this way you can carry more fights, ideally. Obviously, pushing the payload matters too. And there are times when we should do so. I just highly suggest, if you know that the fight happens, you should be in the fight first, because if you secure in the
Okay.
fight, then you 100% will be pushing the point later. But if we are on the payload and let's say something goes wrong, then the payload's gonna
Mm,
stop no matter what. So there's also
okay.
another perspective of it. Usually, if you know that the fight is going to participate in the fight, you don't want to be on the payload. Yeah, the payload shouldn't be the priority. Yeah, win the fight first and then focus on the payload after. Does it make sense?
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. You see, we
Because
kind of
I usually don't like well, it depends. Sometimes I do stay behind pushing the payload. Sometimes not. For example, if I'm with Zen and I have a long line sight view sight, I stay on the payload so I can push it and I can play Sorb on other person. But often I'm not staying on the payload because well, this is weird because usually I don't stay here. Or if I stay here, is to target someone that is going behind the trees, like where there is a door over there, because nobody, like Cassidy and Juno, couldn't see them. Reaper is too far behind, so if someone appears there, I can shoot him and to make him go away.
Yeah,
Does it make
well,
sense?
yeah, exactly, exactly. If you are able to put pressure on the enemy and influence the space, yeah, sort of winning the fight, winning the space while staying on card, then sure, you can do that, but be careful as well. Like we said, the general rules are if the fight is really active, you don't want to be on card, you want to be somewhere else. But anyway, if we in this more of a poke phase before the fight starts, like let's say in theory, if from here I'm able to shoot those guys which are behind the wall, then this is good. But now you're not able to, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why that's what I mean. You need to prioritize winning the fight first, winning the space first, over pushing the card, no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just
Okay.
the card can be pushed later, but if you lose the fight, then it's gonna be stopped no matter what. So, which is with this position, we have all limited things you can do. You cannot see those
Mm-hmm.
guys which are more active. You cannot see this here as well and put the pressure on them too. And there's a high chance your teammate's gonna die because of it. We're just playing a little bit too passive in here, but then yeah, after that we've actually been, yeah, we're actually peeking the enemy. This is fine. Yeah, right click is good. Okay. Now we can just kill the Thorp. Sure. Can push up, take space, and yeah, this is where it starts again. You can kind of think, okay, I'm on a payload, I can do pressure on the space where it matters for our team.
Okay.
This is okay, but then just be careful when the fight is about to start, trying to move slightly away from the point later. But now it's fine. When you start on payload, this is the case where it's good. Just later on, yeah, like exactly this way. Yeah, maybe we position somewhere here. Maybe we position somewhere. I would say this room would do just fine. You usually need to have this more mid-range to long-range sightline, and it will be okay. With Zenyatta. What do you think about your Transcendence? What's the plan behind it? What do we aiming to do with that as well during the fight?
Usually to add more pressure. If someone is going in the front, like probably right now Sigma was doing, I can use the Transcendence. Also with the perk that I usually select the left perk, so I can put the Discord orb also while Transcendence. Probably here was a good moment to use it.
I would say so.
We were missing one.
Yeah, yeah. It's exactly. That's why I think it's just paying attention to your defensive cooldowns on your team. If you know those are down, maybe their HP starts getting down, they take damage, they position pretty aggressively. You can consider supporting them a little bit more. You know that just whatever the best tool for you, go with that. Really, and you should be fine. I think using Transcendence will be alright, honestly.
Yeah, probably in this case it was even more the case because Juno was dead, so I was the only healer, and well, it was the only way to heal properly Sigma while pushing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, okay. Yeah, I think you don't even need to wait for anything. Just to counter any ultimate to a lot of the times. Just go in, do stuff to support the activity, and we're good. Okay. Destroying the orb. Yeah, sure. This
Yeah, I
is
was trying
fine.
to target the short.
Yeah, also attention-wise, yeah, it's always better. Try to do a little bit more anticipation, though. This guy is trying to move from this cover here to this cover, so the pressure on him is fine, just when you anticipate where they're gonna go, that makes it easy for you to decide how to position your crosshair. Usually, the enemy will try to rotate from one piece of cover to another, so your crosshair position should be somewhere in the corners. Yeah, maybe if we're talking about the crosshair placement, a lot of the times I think this makes it easy. If you anticipate, then you instantly kind of is a default will try to go towards this side. You try to also anticipate their movement, how they go left. So instead of you positioning the crosshair right on them, you would go more left side, yeah, and that way it will be easier for you to hit them in this case. Yeah, and at the same time you can also peek right a little bit, so you also kind of go past this sign, hopefully. Stuff like that. So there's a lot of anticipation in the aim part too. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I think just talking about the awareness, all the game sense, it can be pretty good. to do later on as well, but I think it's just still worth it to mention now. Because there are just a lot of nuances we can talk about later as well. It's alright though. Yeah, this is...
Here I tried to save Sigma. Not sure it was worth.
Yeah, just a little bit too much emphasis on exactly staying with him. I think once you see that the ultimate wears out 2 seconds already, you have to think about reposition, probably. Yeah, obviously value your teammates' life, but you need to value your life more. Because there's a high chance you can get an early pick before the fight starts, even though your Sigma dies. Yeah. So ideally, where should we end up, by the way? What do you think? Instead of being here.
Away from the lava.
Yeah, away from the lava, that's one. Where exactly you think?
Probably like on the left corner, close to the tree on the left corner.
Yeah, I
like
think
behind.
not bad. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, we can definitely start there. You also have opportunity to try to take top. By the way, I would say it's slightly more preferable for your team too. If you guys can fight for the top later, this is really good. Maybe you can even do it by yourself. You usually don't want to be stuck with your team too much, to be honest, on the same position, but it's alright. Okay. Let's see. Starting out, Reaper plays the orb. Okay, Reaper goes left side. Staying here. Sure. Got the Torp. It's fine. I think it's okay, just need to be again away from the card when you do this. You pressure this out is fine, but because you're on the card, there's just high chance for you to get hit by all the stuff.
Okay.
You need to be somewhere else, it feels. What your position should be right now? What corner you could be playing exactly, you think?
Probably this corner here on the right.
Yeah.
But behind the corner.
Yeah, exactly. I would say this is enough. Yeah, just being slightly aware of this, and with this cover too, that helps a lot. Yeah, Zarya's trying to hide around the payload. Sure, your teammates will try to push this way. You can try to have the crossfire this way. It's okay, especially if you know that they might have graph. Just be careful. Yeah, this is really unfortunate. We just end up in this situation, and now suddenly they might turn this around. Maybe not, but at least it would be present in the fight, which is now. I think there's probably easily one fight for you, because you guys had such a big advantage, and then for whatever reason they've been able to turn this around. This is the graph here, because we died. Yeah. Okay, attention on the angles. That's great. Soldiers out. Now... you can maybe put more pressure on the front line, but you don't want to forget about the soldier existing. Also, if we can anticipate that they have ultimate too, then this makes it easy for you to put the pressure on this guy. Yeah, like instantly, yeah, exactly. Slightly more attention, if possible. This guy's really low, the soldier there. Okay. Destroying Torp turret is okay too, if there's nothing else to do, or pressure that Zarya. That's alright, that's still better compared to using it really late, I would say. You have the Sigma really low, they position more front line, but they do damage as well, so why not? It's not too bad for sure. Just enable the push. Yeah, that's good, that's good.
Yeah, I wanted to push behind the angle.
Yeah.
Like, to have my team follow me while pushing them, and it was effective actually, because...
Yeah, you just need to not end up here. Against Barazari, you die here instantly, especially if you have the high charge. You see how you have HP here because of that too. Yep, and she missed half of her abilities anyway, half of her beam. So you need to be really cautious. 2 seconds out, okay, where I'm gonna stand later. So I end up, I don't know, right side I think is gonna be alright, but not here, not the middle. Never middle. Most of the time, at least. It's just away from the card, be somewhere else, and we're gonna be good. Okay, do you have any questions? Maybe any more questions? Do you want to continue watching this, or if you also want to, we can also watch another replay. All up to you.
Let's try to watch another replay. I have another code that I saved before. Maybe we can take a look. Right in the chat.
Yeah, let's start with that. Whatever you prefer. I think is it maybe doing if you have a little bit more Lifeweaver again, maybe we can talk about Lifeweaver with
Yeah.
the rest of the time. Yeah, and then after that we can summarize.
Okay. Take note of this code. W.
Oh, just one moment. Okay,
Yeah.
W
Okay. 74.
74
Yeah. EE7.
EE7. That's all. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. King Zero.
Yeah. King's Row.
All right. And we are okay. We're on Zenyatta. Yeah, do you want to watch Zenyatta again, or do you prefer?
No. Let's switch. Let's switch.
Oh, so we're switching to Wu Yang later.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay. Here there was one with Wu Yang.
Wu Yang is good. Okay, we can.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Wu Yang.
You can do a little bit of it. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, there are definitely a lot more nuances. I will probably I will leave it for now, but I think let's just keep it the same way like we talked about before. Most of your support ideas is you need to support the activity. You need to make sure that at least with the pattern's been that we've been positioning the card a little bit too much. We need to take better positions, be comfortable with the sidelines, but meantime be able to support your team and deal with the most aggressive enemy team. And
Okay.
remember to, yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're starting out here. That's fine. Yeah,
Here
this is
there was a
scary.
Sombra.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I see.
I always have issues when Sombra is not banned because for the kind of players that I play, Zenyatta and healers in general, I always have her behind me, and it's like instant kill.
Yeah,
Often.
so let's start with the same thing like we did before. You look at the enemy team. Who do you expect to take angles?
Sombra and Echo. No, sorry. Sombra and Echo was with us. Mainly Sombra, I would say.
Yeah, mainly Sombra. Maybe that could be Winston too sometimes. They could be just hiding somewhere behind. It's good Winstons. They a lot of times do that, being sneaky like a Tracer in a way, and then harassing your backline after. Maybe a Cassidy too, but Sombra is the highest priority, really. Okay, if we know that Sombra exists, now what about your resources? How should you deal with her? What do you need to be able to deal with her?
With the wave for sure, and the torrent.
Wave is
if
big.
I have both,
Yeah.
With the wave, I can cure myself and then use the torrent to escape.
Yeah, exactly.
But you block the ability. That's the problem.
Yeah, yeah, that's true too. But at the same time, first off, yeah, the first mistake is anyway, I need to be cautious to not use this ability for just because, yeah, if expecting those guys to be flanking, especially at the early stages of the fight, yeah, we know, okay, trying to think where the Sombra might be, yeah, try to anticipate she might be here, she might be behind somewhere here, so I possibly may need an escape if something bad happens, but when you're expecting her to be in the off angle, I also need to try to put the pressure on her. The Wu Yang is really good at this because you can always stab damage and try to maybe just cancel their hack, and also try to scout where they are too before the fight starts. If you have this this time, yeah, you're just kind of thinking about where they might position and just shoot in the general direction. This is also okay. But anyway, here, I deal. By the way, there's also, I believe they also using their, yeah, they use their translocator. If you're really aware, you're able to hear that. If we just, if I stop talking, for example, here, you'll hear that here, just in a moment. Yeah, did you hear it? There's like small noise. Not sure if you noticed that, but there's been like a small noise which makes it this. It's pretty loud, to be honest, whenever they're on the angle. So you can already start turning if you pay attention to the sounds like this and start scouting them. Just start tapping the damage, and maybe if not, if you don't want to do that, if your teammates need help, then at least be aware and be ready. And once they start hacking, we'll be turning around and then dealing with that. And so your positioning will not be here. It will be, I don't know, maybe like here or here at least. Yeah, so your shift is exactly the enabler. Yeah, you need to be able to comfortably deal with the person. You don't want to give them all the options to see how open you are. They might
Yeah.
be, let's imagine you don't know where they are. Yeah, for whatever reason, they've been really sneaky. You never heard them use that ability too. Well, they can come up with this way, they can be here, they can be hiding around here. You give them all the options to pressure you. You need to remove those options. See what I mean?
Okay, so better to stay close with to the team.
No, not necessarily. There's gonna be another problem then. If you stay with the team, then there's high chance to receive a lot of poke damage, like we talked about with Zenyatta, for example. So you still
Okay.
need to take your own off angles, but remove the options. What do you would say? Where could it be? Off angle, away from team. Remove the options for Sombra to do stuff. Where ideally we should be.
Uh, Probably close to my Sombra.
I think so. I think this is better. You see, suddenly, this is really in close space. You have only one potential route for her, maybe this as well, and that's going to be much easier. If you know that the Sombra is coming and you hear her, or you just notice the hack, you can instantly turn to this direction and disable her. Now, it's just, you kind of disorienting yourself a little bit because you not exactly expecting her from one place. Yeah, you might be expecting her from multiple. You need to be really
Yes, true.
cautious.
No, I'm in the open there. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then after, when she is gonna do something, it will be much easier to disrupt, really. You're trying to do so, you're trying to also go for the wave, but it's just not gonna work now, yeah, because it's getting cancelled.
Yep.
Yeah, ideally, the hack should be cancelled, like, when it started. Yeah, it's just starting now, okay, I gotta do stuff. Now it seems that we kind of just wandering around. Yeah, we need to be really careful. Yeah, stuff like that. Okay, I think it may be
Yeah.
good to just summarize. We mentioned quite a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
already,
yep.
so let's do that. Yeah, what do you think? With all the stuff I went over, what you
I
need to
think
work on?
it's very useful to understand that to automate the off-angle concept and to understand which are the cover that I can take. So first to understand which is the more active player in my team and in their team, so to manage the heal properly. In the meantime, to take the right cover to protect myself and to have a good view line on my team. Yeah, that's probably the thing that I should be working on, especially the positioning, because sometimes, as here, if I don't think, for example, in this case, I didn't think about Sombra, so I positioned in the open, thinking, okay, nobody's here, but Sombra was there, so I need to pay attention to this, to take cover with a good line sight.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of the work should be done before the fight too. Yeah, try to
Mm-mm-mm.
anticipate who will be active before the fight. Yeah, you just
Yeah,
exactly.
that's something that I think it's very very useful and something I never thought about that honestly. I heal by heart, let's say.
Yeah, exactly.
How I feel like in that moment. I think to prioritize, but I never rationalized it. You gave me a way to rationalize it, so I think it's very very useful for me.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and just with especially the Lifeweaver positions with more options, using the verticality more, being able to see
Mm-mm.
most of the groups too, and a card versus space. Ideally, we're trying to deal with the space first and deal with the card second. So be away from card
Okay.
when the fight is about to happen. And another thing is, yes, if there's ever a situation where you need to contribute to the space, then do that first, and then after that you will be pushing the card. That's usually better,
Okay.
to put it this
Okay.
way.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's enough. We can definitely talk about the other topics later, but I think just start working on this stuff first.